What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? I'm doing pretty good. Tonight we have Eric Dubay on the channel. Not literally, like I don't have him on the phone or something, but he put out a video a few months ago about 35 questions for flat earthers that he answered. And so I figured what I would do is be snarky as fuck and respond to his answers to the questions. And so that's what we're doing tonight, along with comments of the day. Prepare to facepalm yourself in the next week. Along with Today I Learned, which Today I Learned is first. If you guys are new to the stream here, I appreciate you coming by. I hope my singing doesn't get you to go away. But Today I Learned is where we learn a couple of new things together so, you know, we could just be better people. And those are the kind of Today I Learns that I pick. So I hope that you guys will join me for the whole stream tonight. If you don't, that's fine. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And let's just jump on into the comments, shall we? Or, well, sorry, Today I Learned. Fuck, I don't even know my own goddamn schedule for a stream. I know, thank you, honey, for being there for me to correct my dumbass stuff. All right, let's see. Got to navigate my ways around it. Got to get to the Eric Dubay stuff. All right, so Today I Learned. Oh, yeah. Preemptive earbuds. Okay. Got to get this sized up before I show you guys. All right, so in Today I Learned... Today I learned that in the late 1700s and 1800s, there was widespread panic about the evils of book reading, which was described as, quote, an outrage on decency and common sense. People were concerned that avid novel readers were, quote unquote, addicted and were becoming antisocial. That sounds a lot like the bullshit that's spouted now about like video games and all these other things. Basically, fear-mongering has been a thing ever since societies were a thing. So I mean, this is just a fear-mongering tactic. They will literally say it about anything that's popular. Oh, also remember tonight that any super chats will take priority. I will like finish a thought or something like that, but if it's while I'm doing anything on the stream tonight, I will respond to your super chat. So if you want to make sure to get a response, there's that, or you can wait till the very end of the stream when there's a Q&A section. Monetizing the stream. All right, another Today I Learned that some owls keep blind snakes as pets. They feed on parasitic larvae, I'm not sure. And a study conducted by Baylor University, scientists found that eastern screech owls, their chicks, grew faster and healthier in nests that were kept parasite-free by these quote-unquote domesticated blind snakes. Thank you, Jacob, for following on what? Maybe that's Twitch? Damn, I'm getting followers on Twitch? Shit. Okay. So, yes, domesticated blind snakes. This intrigued me a lot because the idea of like owls keeping blind snakes to like rid their nests or whatnot of larvae, parasitic larvae, is just fucking interesting to me. Oh shit, yeah, I'll refresh it here in a second. It looks like nobody's watching the stream. But now it's time for comments of the day. Prepare to facepalm yourself in the next week. All right, so let me get my live viewer thing refreshed real quick. Refresh. Also, earbud warning. I appreciate everybody that does a earbud warning. If you don't earbud warn during or before the comments, you may suffer some kind of like eardrum penetration that is in no way connected to me screaming in the mic. So this comes from anonymous person. Don't be angry with people that believe in something greater than yourself. Please and thank you, you cocksuckers. It's our choice to believe. Don't be an ass and use facts to disprove my belief. Don't fucking use facts against me, motherfucker. I don't want to be hip to like what the universe really is, like the truth of the universe or anything like that. I want to live in ignorance. To this guy right here, I would say don't take facts as being something that you need to hide from. Just take the facts and change your worldview. That's how you become a better person. Or there's this meme. Doctor, now I have to inform you the cancer has spread to your liver, lungs, and brain. Kid, what can be done, Doc? Thoughts and prayers. Yeah, I don't put a lot of stock in the whole thoughts and prayers thing. Like, I mean, personally, I'd rather actually do something for somebody, so that's why I kind of shit on the idea of thoughts and prayers. It just seems like you're not wanting to do something, but at the same time, feel like you're actually doing something. Ew, this one's gross. Oh my god, I can't even believe I'm about to read this on the stream. What am I saying? I sucked a devil dick on air. I didn't bathe my baby for 3 months. I left the womb wax on my baby and in its mouth until it all naturally dissolved. I also ate my baby's umbilical cord, thank you fucking very much. It has amazing health benefits. It allowed me to regrow my dick. It has when the clumps of womb wax would dry and fall off, I'd fucking eat those too like they were goddamn scabs. Skittles? Scooby snacks? I don't give a fuck. This entire comment is gross and just needs to go away. I don't care I don't care if the umbilical cord will help me grow back a new pancreas. I am not gonna fucking eat the umbilical cord of any motherfucker out there, okay? You understand me? Oh, people are so fucked. Oh, this one was labeled last, but I guess I'll go ahead and read it considering the stream tonight. Ben Venar. I won't listen to shit you have to say till you talk to Eric Dubay or Rob Skiba, whatever the fuck his name is. I won't talk to you, and I won't listen to you until you talk to those two motherfuckers. All right, bud. That's why we're taking a look at Eric Dubay tonight. So there you go. That's where I get my ideas. Shitty comments left on the page. All right. This comes from Andy Murr. Murr. It sounds like the sound I make whenever I want to, basically call someone stupid. Wow! This guy's video are beyond stupid. Lol, I talk about brainwashed and has never done a day's real research in his life. Good luck in your fairy tales like the moon landing. I try not to be like, oh, you've never done research on this. I try to take somebody at their word. So, like, if someone's saying something blatantly false, I will tell them how they're wrong. And I expect that out of you, heathens, here. If I get something wrong on tonight's stream, fucking tell me. Because guess what? I get shit wrong, and I'm human, so fuck me, I guess. Here we go. Maybe I can do the perfect whiny voice. Oh my god! You have the fattest, whiniest voice like a dying meatloaf. How does a meatloaf die? Is it? I kind of figured the meatloaf would be dead, but I really don't know. See. All right, next comment of the day. If I can fucking resize it. All right. Kayla K. Please consider confessing with your mouth Yeshua Jesus is Lord and believe with your heart Jehovah God raised him from the dead. Huh. I gotta say, Christians telling me to confess with my mouth about Jesus. I don't fucking know. Oh man, the Godless Iowan, thank you for the super chat. Do umbilical cords taste like chitlins? They fucking do. Still not gonna eat them though. Chrismer, so you kill your meatloafs? Savage. Thank you, Chrismer. I really appreciate it. And I fucking got his name right, didn't I? Yeah, because I was thinking how to pronounce it. I saw your description and saw you're an ex-Christian. I don't know how you were taught, but God is real, and I would recommend checking out this link. No link given. If I'm wrong, prove me. But don't be chicken. Hold on. First I was killing meatloafs. Now I am a chicken. Is a chicken killing a meatloaf? Is that what the fuck it is? I gotta say, we make meatloaves in this house and they are fucking delicious.
I taught you how to make them.
Yeah, Casey taught me how to make them. I can make a delicious mini meatloaf, okay? I know everybody in the chat's gonna be like, don't tell me, fat ass, you're eating mini meatloaves. You eat 5 of them, bitch. Uh-oh, here's Truth Hammer. Truth Hammer. This silly atheist has a squealing, shrill voice, like a teenage girl. Okay, look, Truth Hammer, you want me to act like a teenage girl? Alright, I'll read your comment like a teenage girl. Like, seriously? Theism has an actual cause of the beginning of the universe? Atheism is more than magic, or atheism is worse than magic. Sorry, the blonde is getting in my way.
What?
Teenage girl, it's a stereotype. Atheism is stuck with a physical beginning without a cause, okay? A rabbit coming out of a hat with no magician. Atheism is idiocy, so if you don't want to be an idiot, then you best not be atheist, okay? Steve Bauman, $4.99. Don't fuck up the science, G-Money. The Geek Room, Gore done did it. No sacred cows, thank you. Blow me a kiss and tell my you love me. All right. Mwah. Love ya. I didn't say it would have all of the force of like it when I do it to KC. So okay, so obviously atheism is not worse than magic. Theism is actually magic. I mean, this is one of those backwards things that Christians like to project on atheists, that we believe in magic of some kind. That's not at all what it is. It's actually theists that generally believe in magic, which is fine. I'm not going to shit on them for believing in magic, but at the same time, you can't say that I believe in magic when I don't. Well, there is a cause for the universe, although we don't know the exact cause. We don't have to. That doesn't disprove atheism. And atheism obviously is an idiocy. So, time for more comments of the day. This is gonna be the last one for right now. See, we need to get a good one in here. I had a couple good ones picked. Here's one. Gray Area, greetings from the UK. Love your videos. Please keep it up. Thank you, Gray Area. I appreciate your super chat there. I will keep it up. We have a general schedule of posting 5 days a week, with the exception of weeks where I'm working my ass off and I put out just fucking every single day. All right. Here's one. So this is your earbud warning right now, and then we're gonna get to the video. What's up, fat stuff? Hey, little Debbie called and they said, take it easy on the zebra cakes, you giant beast. Damn, coming out strong, being all savage there, John Peppa. Earbud warning. Please let me know when you find your gravity compass, and more importantly, your gravity magnet. So simple! What's the problem? Every kid has a magnet and a compass. It's child's play because it's real! What a paid loser shill disinformation turd this little Debbie gluten is. Electromagnetism so easy to prove. Gravity never proven, and the excuse for everything. What a joke! God damn. Puffaluffa was 360, $1. Thank you. All right. Nothing to really say about this one. It was just fun to read.
Is a gravity?
I don't know what a gravity magnet is. I'm guessing maybe it's just like a planet that is big enough to have its own gravity, maybe. I'm not sure. I wish he would elaborate on that. Gravity is proven and all that kind of shit. I mean, it's just the same old bullshit that they spout. So we're going to go ahead and end the comments of the day. I hope you didn't facepalm yourself too hard. All right, let's get to the video. Like the description says, if you haven't read the description, this is about 35 minutes long. So we're not going to cover the entire thing. We're only going to cover the first few questions. So, with that in mind, we're going to do about 12 minutes of this video. And maybe next week will be the last week or something. I'm not sure. I think that we can pull 3 weeks out of this because he covers a lot of ground. But we're just going to cover the first like 12 minutes of this 35-minute video, and then we'll be done. We'll do more comments, and then we'll have Q&A. All right, an introduction to flat Earth. Woo! Let's do it. Oh shit, you guys can't fucking hear. That's okay. It's just a really shitty bass line right now. There we go. Ooh, dancing atheist. Okay, he's not asking the question, so I'll go ahead and I'll ask the questions in true fashion. What does the flat Earth look like? Hey. What up there, Nikki? What you doing watching my face? I fucking knew it!
No one is 100% certain about what the flat Earth looks like, but the azimuthal equidistant projection map that is used by the USGS is the flat Earth map. The United Nations, oddly enough, uses the flat Earth map as its logo and divides it into 33 Masonic sections.
I like how he reads Masonic into every fucking thing. And yes, I don't know if you guys can really see it up there, but it says Gleason's New Standard Map of the World. I have nothing to do with a flat Earth map. Puffaluffagus says, I hope you've already cracked a cold one, GE. I forgot to get my beer. I need to get beer, but I forgot to get it while we were out today. So fuck. I don't have any beer. I'm going through beer withdrawals. Okay, so basically, this guy thinks that the UN map or the general flat Earth map is the map of the world, which would include like these weird proportions for fucking things, and also the huge ice wall. So my guess is that he's probably going to say that there's some kind of huge ice wall that surrounds us.
Gleason's map is also used as a representation of the flat Earth. On the flat Earth map, North is in the center, while South, or Antarctica, is surrounding Earth with the continents and oceans inside. Mercator's map from 1569 is also a flat Earth map showing a magnetic mountain in the north with 4 continents surrounding it.
Okay, I don't understand why he puts more emphasis on older maps rather than on newer maps that are proven to be more indicative of the actual face of the Earth. Like, I don't know why he seems to be putting more emphasis on those rather than these. Like, do you not think that we get smarter as time goes on? Like, do you not understand how we gain knowledge?
Nations had their own depictions of a flat Earth.
Oh, where's the edge, Flathard?
Who's to say there is an edge? Most people's first reaction to flat Earth is that there must be an edge, but is that because of how it is presented to us? On the current flat Earth model, there is no edge, but rather a 360-degree wall of ice surrounding Earth, holding the oceans in. Again, no one is 100% certain that this ice wall exists.
Okay, like, all of these pictures that he's showing are just Antarctica. Like, that's legit all it is. Like, the ship next to the thing, that's part of Antarctica. I mean, that's all. Like, he literally is just showing pictures of Antarctica and saying, there's a big fucking ice wall, okay, guys? Yeah, I mean, I can't go down there or nothing. Well, I could if I really wanted to, but there's an ice wall. And I'm guessing next he's going to talk about some secret society that's keeping us from going to the Antarctic and getting over this ice wall.
Because for more than 50 years, there has existed an international Antarctic treaty stating that no civilian can travel there without government approval.
Okay, yeah, no, well, it's see, this is a half-truth right here. There is an Antarctic kind of society that's amongst 12 or so nations where they have agreed on certain terms for the Antarctic, but it's mostly about, like, well, you can do scientific research there, and when you do scientific research, you share it amongst all of these nations, because the Antarctic doesn't belong to any one nation, obviously. So that's what that little group is, but they don't say you can't go here without government approval or something like that. You, as a general person, can, if you're mounting a scientific expedition. It will, like, you have to, like, get some kind of approval, but it's more about the scientific findings of the mission and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to, like, you don't have to get government approval to go there, but it would be very expensive for you to go, like, just on your own. Plus, it's very turbulent down there, and there's only like a 90-day window in which you can get down there, and that's from like November to February are the only times. So, I mean, it's very specific, but it's also not what he's saying.
There are pre-approved guide tours that exist, but they only go to coastal regions. Jarl Andhoy was arrested and fined when he traveled to Antarctica without permission. We do have many pictures of the ice wall, but due to the treaty, we are restricted from going down there.
You're not restricted. You can go down there if you want to. Eric Dubay does not know what the fuck he's talking about. You can take a trip down there. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. Where is the sun on a flat earth model, you dipshit? I imagine that's how people ask him these questions. Okay.
On the flat Earth model, the sun circles over the Earth in a clockwise manner.
All right. I mean, I don't know if you guys can really see this right here, but I mean, that is not a dispersal pattern of like a ball of whatever the fuck he thinks the sun's made out of circling around the Earth. Also, this particular model does nothing to tell us like eclipses and all this other stuff. It also doesn't explain sunsets. It doesn't like actually depict how light actually works. So basically this map right here goes against all scientific knowledge of light, of what like the sun and other stars are made out of, vision. Like it totally shits on all of those ideas.
Manner and fades off into the vanishing point of perspective, or the horizon. The sun does not actually sink to the ground, but rather it gets further and further away until the observer can no longer see it.
You legit saw the sun go beneath the curve. Like, it's not actually going beneath the curve. The sun is stationary. Well, the earth rotates and we just perceive it to be going underneath it. But he's showing this image right here as if to say, oh, look, the sun's getting smaller and it's disappearing over here. When in actuality, it looks like there's some kind of cloud thing right there that is causing the light to disperse in a different way, or causing the light to show through in a different way, something like that. But it's the same size, but it's just disappearing under the curve. So, I mean, he's either knowingly lying at this point about it, or he just doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. My guess is on the latter, though. But I will say that the sun's size in the sky does change, but it doesn't necessarily change in a single day. Like, when we're closer to the sun, you know, in our orbit, of course, it's going to appear larger in the sky. It's also going to appear in a different position of the sky. And the same thing for when we're farther away, and the time in between, it changes. So, I mean, he uses this model that has the sun that just goes around in a circle with 180 degrees opposite of it, the moon, and they just dance like that. And he doesn't at all explain what we're seeing right here. Not at all.
The sun is not 93 million miles away, as modern astronomers claim, but it is obviously closer and smaller. The sun only gives light to about half of the plane, while the other half is night.
Okay, so now it's an infinite plane of ice, and you've got the two different objects there. One's the sun and one's the other guy. And apparently the sun just acts kind of like a spotlight. It'll light up all of the regions that you need it to, and the dispersal pattern changes as it moves around the Earth. You think that is legitimately more probable than like the sun being stationary and us like orbiting around it, and the Earth revolving in general. Like, you think this is way more convincing. I don't fucking understand it.
Although there has been much debate about this in the community.
Hold on. We got to go back and look at this a little bit. Maybe we can pull it back. Crap. Oh, wait. Here we go. Nope. Okay.
There has been much debate about this in...
Crap. I don't know if you guys could see it, but like the light immediately stops like in the middle of the Earth. Light doesn't just immediately stop. Let me see if I can go back. Okay, here we go. Let me step forward on this a little bit here. I could do it frame by frame. Now, if you guys notice, the light legitimately stops in the very center of it. Fuck. It stops in the center of it. Like, that's not how light operates.
In the community, I think we can all agree that it is the sun circling above us, not the other way around.
No, that's legitimately not anything. What about the ships disappearing over the horizon, dipshit?
Ships do not disappear over the horizon.
Yes, they fucking do.
But rather they disappear into the horizon.
No,
with
they
the
don't.
vanishing point of perspective. The argument of ships going over the curve can be easily debunked by using telescopes, binoculars, and good zoom cameras to bring ships back into view of the observer. No matter how...
Okay, so ships legitimately can go over the curve, and you will notice it because you can only see so much of the top of it. So I don't know why he thinks he can take out a camera and just see it. Now, there is the curious instance of like being able to see the Detroit skyline from Chicago, or seeing Chicago from Detroit. And that's actually a superior mirage where the light actually bends over the Earth's surface. So light bending, we know light bends, and so it bending over the surface of the Earth so that we can see more of the Chicago skyline makes sense. But when these ships actually go over the curve, It doesn't matter how close you zoom in with your Rebel TI fucking whatever camera, you will not be able to see the rest of the ship. It does not disappear into the horizon, it goes over the curve.
How good the zoom is on the camera, ships will never be able to be brought back into view if they went over the curve. This is proof that the ship only appeared to disappear because of vision and perspective, not the curve.
Well, no, I mean, perspective is key here, but perspective also doesn't explain why there's a curve. They go over the curve. Why can't I see across the oceans? I mean, this is actually a legitimately good question considering what he just talked about. So, like, if we can just zoom in with a camera and see the ship that disappeared over or into the horizon or whatnot, like, shouldn't we be able to take a telescope and see clear across the ocean and be able to see, like, fucking the Eiffel Tower and shit? We should be able to do that on a flat plane. Like, as long as it's a clear to both locations and there's nothing to get in the way of it, we should be able to see it, because we have telescopes where we can look out and we can see stars and see, you know, stars forming and stars collapsing and all this other shit. We can see that stuff with telescopes. And so we should be able to take those telescopes and actually see, you know, something from very far away. But this guy seems to think that there's some kind of, I don't know, like, just listen to him.
Just because the Earth is flat, that does not mean that your eyesight is infinite. The human eye can only see a certain amount of distance on a clear day, and even less on a cloudy day. It would be impossible to see across an entire ocean because the human eye cannot see that far.
Then get a fucking telescope, Eric. I don't know why this is so difficult for you to understand. If you, like, by your logic, you should just be able to get a telescope and look far enough into the quote-unquote horizon and be able to see it. But that's not what you show us. You do kind of an equivocation thing where you talk about someone just looking at it versus somebody, like, zooming in on it with a camera. If we can just zoom into things that are far away and see all of them, then we should be able to take a telescope and look across the ocean at whatever the fuck is immediately across from us. Well, yeah, you should be able to see the fucking ice wall anywhere. I mean, you should be able to see all of these things. But nope, we don't find that, because guess what? Doesn't work that way.
It has everything to do with perspective and nothing to do with the curvature of the Earth.
It has everything to do with the curvature of the Earth. The flat Earth model does not make sense with what we experience in reality. I don't know why it makes more sense to you, like these cognitive dissonant things. Like, I don't know why those things make more sense than you, other than the fact that you've got them walled off in your head to where you actually believe the shit that you're spouting. How is circumnavigation possible on a flat Earth, fucker? Okay, before he answers, I will admit that, I mean, the circumnavigation thing is kind of a poor argument. Obviously, on his flat Earth model, at least, you can easily just go around in the ocean. So, I mean, this particular question doesn't really help us any in the discussion.
On the flat Earth model, circumnavigation simply means traveling east to west. If you go east for long enough, you will end up back where you started, and the same goes for west. Ferdinand Magellan's journey, which was credited as the first circumnavigation of Earth, just circled from east to west around the flat Earth. This doesn't prove that the Earth is flat or spherical, because it can work for both models.
What about the Felix Baumgart and the Red Bull jump? This is referencing some old shit right here. Of course, he's going to point out the whole fisheye lens or the wide angle lens thing. While that is a thing, and it like stuff does tend to curve when you're viewing it in that mode, you don't necessarily need the Felix Baumgartner thing to prove that the Earth has a curve to it. I mean, obviously, we got the most recent SpaceX launch that launched the Tesla into space, and we got those nice pictures. But we've also got pictures from multiple agencies around the world that have been able to take pictures of the Earth and shown how it is an oblate spheroid in general. So just because GoPro exists with a wide angle lens and Felix Baumgartner possibly used it, I don't know exactly where he's going to go with this argument, but just because he used it doesn't mean that it's not a globe. So the GoPro kind of argument is really just lazy because it doesn't really address the issues that we see with non-GoPro images.
On the Red Bull dive from 128,000 feet, you can notice...
Okay, so he obviously here he's pointing out the view from outside versus the view from inside. Now, I'm not sure if they used like a wide angle lens on it, but even if you were to assume that he did, the view from inside doesn't exactly look like he was using a wide angle lens, although actually it kind of does, because I have a GoPro too, and you know, when you have like close in situations like that, you want to use a wide angle so that you get the full shot. Otherwise, it'll just be a very narrow thing. But also looking out at this, you're only seeing a small portion of the curve of the Earth, and a small portion of the curve of the Earth is going to look like it doesn't curve, but it's only until you take into account a larger area that you actually see the curve. And just like with the view from outside, while it may be a fisheye lens or it may be a wide angle lens, that doesn't mean that it's not curved. You can obviously see in multiple pictures from elsewhere about, you can see from multiple pictures elsewhere that we do have a curve. We got Chrismer. Again, the Earth is a truncated isometric polyhedron. Fuck yeah, let's champion that shit.
that the outside cameras are wide-angle lenses, while the inside cameras are not. In other words, the outside cameras have added curvature, but the inside cameras show a flat plane through the window. Not only that, but he lifted off from New Mexico, where already the curvature from the cameras started early on, and all we see in the view is New Mexico.
Wait, so, like, I wonder if Eric Dubay legit thinks that, like, states are different colors. Like, because he's saying that he lifted off and he can only see New Mexico. I don't know if he can only see New Mexico because the United States legit does not have black fucking lines with different colors for each goddamn state.
Either the whole Earth is New Mexico, or it is a wide-angle lens. Notice how the Earth isn't spinning either.
Okay, he's saying notice the Earth isn't spinning either. Obviously, we are still in Earth's gravity and it's holding us there with it. So just because Felix is up that far in the air and the rotation of the Earth does come into play when he's up there, he is also still moving along with the Earth. He hasn't actually left Earth's gravity. He's just in a very, very high altitude situation. That's all. What is under the flat Earth? We all know that the trolls live under the flat Earth. They come out to debunk, or not debunk, but to complain about, you know, people saying that the Earth is round. That's where they come from, guys.
This question is not possible to be answered because no human being knows what is underneath the Earth.
Well, of course, the Great Deep is underneath the Earth, dumb motherfucker.
The farthest any human being has ever dug is 8 miles, so not even heliocentrists know what's inside the Earth. When people...
Okay, I mean, well, true, we don't know exactly what is inside. It's not like we have a picture what's inside the Earth, but what we do have are like seismic readings. We can tell by, you know, sending sound waves and other kind of waves into the earth, we can tell like the makeup of the center of the earth. We know like what makes up the center of the earth, and that has been able to inform us as to how planets form and all this other stuff. It gave us great insight into the universe and how it formed. We've been able to look out into the stars and see like stars forming and all this other stuff. And also it just makes sense with the metal, gravitating towards the center because it's going to be heavier, and then the lighter stuff's on top because of gravity. But they want to be like, well, we can't see the center of the earth, so that means that it doesn't exist. And that's not even that, like, that's not how science works, like, at all.
Think of a flat earth, they think of a disk in outer space. But the whole concept of outer space is ludicrous with the baller theory.
With the baller theory. I like being a baller than a globetard. It's like, with the baller theory, I'm a baller, y'all. I feel like I should have like metal teeth or some shit, Be like, I'm a baller. Yeah. It's spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning. It's spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning. Obviously we've been able to look out into space and see other planets. That's actually how we discovered, how gravity actually allows us to orbit around a planet. It's how we've been able to learn about the shape of our planet. It's how we've been able to learn a lot of different things. But of course, to him, it's all made up fairy tale nonsense.
Many ancient cultures across the plane support the notion of Earth being held upon pillars, but the fact of the matter is, no one can ever know for sure what is beneath the Earth.
Well, there's nothing beneath the Earth there, Eric. We're just in space. Like, there's nothing beneath the Earth. More space. Does the flat Earth move? Idiot.
No. On the flat Earth model, the Earth is stationary and is motionless. Earth is sitting still beneath our feet, and it is actually the celestial bodies, such as the sun, moon, and stars, that revolve around us.
Okay, so this is a clear case of him not realizing that perspective comes into play here. Obviously, there's way more like at work here. Just because like you can't feel it moving because you don't actually feel motion, you feel acceleration, either in the positive or the negative. That's what you feel. You don't actually feel like movement. Like when you're on a train, you don't necessarily feel the train moving because the train has you going the same speed as it. So basically this guy just thinks that because he stands there and he sees like the sun move in the sky, that means that the sun moves in the sky. He doesn't consider the fact that maybe the earth is moving. And to say that the earth doesn't move, I mean, as you can tell, it causes you to really kind of mess with your worldview. Like, you have to think that the stars revolve around the earth. You have to think that the sun moves in the sky. It takes a lot more to like to say those things are real than it does to actually accept the fact, because you have to make these assumptions that are not based in reality.
One has ever, can ever, and will never experience motion from the Earth, which is astonishing because mainstream science says that the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles per hour while hurtling 67,000 miles per hour around the Sun, with the solar system shooting 500,000 miles per hour through the Milky Way, while traveling 670 million miles an hour through space.
Well, right, and if all of that were to speed up even more or slow down, we would feel the acceleration, like in the positive and in the negative, but we wouldn't necessarily feel like the moving of it. Like it would just feel like we're just here, because that's just how shit works. This guy also doesn't understand relative motion and relativity in general.
Yet we can feel none of this?
No, because you don't feel motion. Puffaluffagus says Eric should try telling an SR-71 pilot this crap. He should. It would be interesting if he did, because, I mean, he would still deny it to his face, but at the same time, I think that the guy would just, I don't know, I could see an SR-71 pilot, like, punching Eric Dubay. He has the face that you just want to punch on occasion. Bullionator says, I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky coming down. Oh, I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky come tumbling down, tumbling down. Is that how it goes? Yes.
Will that get you?
What about the satellites, ISS, and the Hubble Space Telescope?
It might sound crazy at first, but satellites do not exist. NASA claims to have satellites, space stations, and telescopes out in outer space, sending back fake CGI images and videos for everyone to eat up. The truth is, however, these are all hoaxes, and that explains all of the terrible CGI editing we receive.
Okay, so, I mean, while there are artist impressions or artist renditions of, like, satellites, they're mostly made for presentation purposes. But, I mean, you can actually see, like, back when the space shuttle missions were a thing, you could see the astronauts actually working on, like, the Hubble telescope and stuff like that. It's not just artistry stuff. They legit do it. I mean, you can even go right now and see a live video from the ISS. It's not fakery or anything. You can't, yes, you can see satellites from the face of the Earth. I would also like to say thank you to Crystal McChenzie. Thank you for the $5. You can see them from the face of the Earth. Like, on a clear night, when the ISS is supposed to go in front of the moon, you can see the ISS. If you get a telescope out, you can look at the moon and you can see the ISS pass in front of it. Now, I mean, you have to know that it's going to pass in front of it because of how fast it's moving. It's only going to be there for a brief second. Jim Hill says, the world is not flat. It's hollow. Hashtag HG Wales. Maybe I should scream it. It's hollow HG Wales. Is that better? Is that worth the $2?
Just think about it. If there are really over 10,000 satellites orbiting Earth as we speak right now, then why can't we see any pass in front of the moon?
Well, I mean, like I said, you can if you know that they're going to be passing in front of it, but also they have to be so big in order for you to see it. I mean, just like with the ISS, you can see it. It's small, and you have to zoom in close because in relative size to the moon, it's not that big. So, I mean, you have to have a satellite that's big enough. And, like, the ISS is just big enough to be able to see. Not Joe Witness! Damn, I was working on my next vid. I didn't realize you were alive. So, hi, everybody! Thanks, Not Joe Witness. Everybody should subscribe to Not Joe Witness. He puts out some pretty good videos.
Not even small specks. The concept of satellites was originally created by a Freemason science fiction writer named Arthur C. Clarke in a magazine titled Wireless World in 1945.
Okay, so science fiction regularly predicts where we're going to go with technology. I mean, the whole purpose of science fiction is to imagine, like, ideally what you would like. Like, for instance, with Star Trek, they, imagine the communicators where you can communicate vast distances. And I mean, now we have cell phones and shit. Yeah, comm badges. Not necessarily. I mean, we do have comm badges where we can connect via Bluetooth to our phones, and I'm sure that we can get that technology actually into a comm badge. But, to say that they only exist because of this guy, Arthur C. Clarke, thought them up so long ago is not a valid or logical or sound way to argue that. Obviously they are up there. We do have photographs of them, and just because we imagined putting them up there, which you would think that if we have them up there, somebody at one time had to imagine them up there. It just makes sense. The Godless Island, $2. Say $2 will make me holler for Mrs. Snarky.
There are thousands
And little Snarky. Did he say that?
of miles of fiber optic cables in the oceans that supply up to 90% of communication.
Okay, so while there may be some GPS like GPS calculations or whatnot that can be done with cell phone towers, we still have GPS satellites in the air. I know because I've actually worked for them, and you can get it's probably about $100 or a couple $100 thing, but you can get a thing that you can attach to a computer, and you can get a satellite signal read and get the GPS time. See, I had to work on a real-time application, and we had to use GPS time in order to synchronize it. So I know for a fact that you have to get it on a clear day, no clouds in the sky and everything like that, and you got to have it up there so that it can actually get the signal. I know they exist. While we do have landlines, I mean, I really haven't researched if there are landlines below the oceans, but it seems reasonable that they would be there, considering that, we've only recently got cell phone technology and shit like that. So it makes sense, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, those are the only ways of communication.
Internet and phones on Earth.
Oh, thank you, honey. Thomas Terry, you're my favorite atheist, dude. I appreciate that, Thomas. I really appreciate the super chat. I appreciate you viewing and watching and everything, and I hope that you continue to do so, even though I'm kind of an asshole sometimes.
GPS runs off ground-based cell towers. Satellite TV dishes, which existed before satellites, are almost always aimed at a 45-degree angle directly towards the nearest cell tower. NASA has been caught using camera trickery with the ISS space footage and using multiple green screen effects with astronauts.
Okay, so the scene that he just showed was the woman being pulled by gravity towards the Earth because they're on the ISS, and that's just how shit works with gravity. It's gonna pull her. It's not green screen magic tomfoolery. They just legit are in the low Earth orbit. And I don't know if Chris Hatfield here has a harness on him. It might make a little bit of sense if he was tethered to something in there, because there's no gravity really. Well, there's microgravity, but there's not really all that much gravity, so it would make sense that if he was. But at the same time, that is in no way indicative of an actual harness.
And harnesses to fake the appearance of zero gravity.
The Godless Island wants me to say, butter, not just for the bedroom no more.
Bubbles have been caught floating near astronauts, and NASA even admits that they do.
I mean, just because there are artifacts or whatnot in the video doesn't mean that they're bubbles. I mean, yes, astronauts do practice in giant tanks and all that kind of shit, but I mean, they don't ever try to play that off as actually being in space.
Training in underwater facilities.
Zentrobi! There's a lot of fiber cables under the sea, but that's mostly because of the bandwidth and speed. That makes a lot of sense. Like I said, I mean, it makes sense if there are some under there. Even though I haven't personally researched to know it for sure, it doesn't hurt like satellites for there to be cables underneath the water. All right, this will be the last question, and then we got to get to the comments and the Q&A, okay? Why is the moon upside down in the southern hemisphere, you dipshit?
moon only appears to be upside down because the observer is viewing it from a different angle in the southern part of Earth than the observer in the northern part of Earth. They're simply...
Okay, well, I mean, what? Okay, Zentrobi says that it doesn't dismiss satellites, though. Yeah, of course. And I appreciate, again, the super chat that you gave me there. But the northern hemisphere, like, okay, so if you're saying that the moon is its own ball of mass that is, rotating, then wouldn't you see the other side of the moon? Like, wouldn't you see the dark side of the moon as we know it? Like, you wouldn't be seeing, like, the two people that you were showing there wouldn't be seeing the same face of the moon. You would see the opposite face of the moon.
Just seeing it from an opposite angle. Ancients portrayed the moon as rotating across the sky, almost like a wheel, and there are some pictures people have taken of this happening.
Well, it depends on your position of the Earth as to whether or not it does that. Not does that, but whether or not, like, it appears the way that it appears. The GE, don't say dark side, say far side. Matthew Thomas, asteroid Bennu collision with Earth in 2135. Oh, wow. I feel like that's a prophecy. Oh, wait. What about the pictures of the Earth from space? I didn't expect that one to end so soon.
The pictures we see from NASA of Earth from space are badly photoshopped. It is so obvious that even they admit to photoshopping the cartoons, such as data visualizer and designer Robert Simon, who once said, "It is photoshopped, but it has to be."
It is Photoshop, because it has to be. It is Photoshop, because it has to be. I am never going to be able to get that particular, thing, like, out of my head, like, at all. Like, that particular rap by ODD TV is just, oh man, like, I can't get over it. I really can't. It is Photoshop, because it has to be.
This only
Odd. I don't know if it's ODD or odd. Either one, it is a fucking odd channel.
Proves that these blue marble images are not real, but fake cartoons that NASA has given the public.
No, they are not. That they're not fakery or anything like that. While they may be edited for public consumption a little bit, at the same time, they are legit pictures of the Earth. Because, I mean, you don't have to just get it from NASA. You can get it from the European Space Agency or the Japanese, whatever the fuck their shit is. Jim Hall says the moon is also hollow, full of alien watchers. They also steal your babies. I know. What did I say? Huh? Oh, Jim Hill. Sorry, Jim. And then the Godless Iowan says the total destruction in 2135. Meh, I'll be dead. Lol. So, I mean, you can get various photographs from various agencies. I mean, that's the point.
After analyzing many of the images, you can see that there are duplicated cloud patterns, and in one of the recent releases, they spelled the word sex into one of the clouds.
Okay, what I will say about this is I can't say for sure whether or not this is actually meant to be, like, sex. I mean, honestly, our brains are meant to detect, like, patterns where there's not necessarily supposed to be patterns. That's where you get a lot of the people that's like, I looked into the mirror and then I saw a ghost. And it's really amazing to me because people don't really understand how our brains are meant to find patterns in nature, just in general. So I'm not necessarily, saying that the NASA people put sex into the picture, but if they did, that's kind of funny. But that being there is a lot like seeing God's face in the clouds. I mean, it's all just pareidolia. Thank you, Crystal. I appreciate your super chat.
The oceans aren't even the same color. Neil deGrasse
Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, they're slightly edited. The edits that you were talking about before with the clouds and everything like that doesn't actually disprove the fact that the Earth is an oblate spheroid.
Tyson said that the Earth is an oblate spheroid, or pear-shaped as he likes to call it.
Okay, well, personally, I feel like calling it a pear just muddies the conversation. Like, it as you can tell, this guy's really kind of focused on Neil deGrasse Tyson saying that. So I feel like it just really muddies the conversation in the future. Not to say that he should have known that, but I don't personally use that particular comparison. But the Earth is much wider at the equator than it is at the poles, and the South Pole is is slightly thicker. So I mean it's a slight like thickening on the bottom, giving the Earth kind of an apple bottom gene kind of look, but still, that doesn't mean like just because he said pear-shaped in order to give you a good idea of what he was talking about doesn't mean that he literally thinks it's in the shape of a pear.
But this contradicts the images NASA has of a perfect spherical Earth. There are no pictures of Earth from space, but fake photoshops that we've believed are real.
Ballers be like, proof, bitches! I still like the Ballers moniker. Like, I would rather be called Baller than, like, Balltard or Globetard or something. Except Flat Earthers would be Fallers! Y'all just some Fallers out there, because you'd be falling on your fucking face when you make these goddamn stupid videos. All right, that's is moonlight just a reflection of the sun's light? We're gonna stop there because it's been about an hour, and we need to still get to comments and whatnot. So if you want to know this particular intriguing question, be sure to tune in next week when we cover it, along with the other questions he's gonna have in segment 2. Prince Thunderfire says the Earth be thick, y'all. The Earth is fucking thick. So we're going to go through some more comments real quick. If you're done with the stream, I totally understand. I hope that you guys will come back next week when we cover more questions. For right now, though, we are going to be going to some comments that are that are quote unquote interesting. Okay. I always wonder what atheists are trying to accomplish with these videos. Do they think that there are going to be legions of religious people saying, yes, yes, atheists have shown me the truth of everything. Now I can make the shift and call religious people shitheads and retards. This is awesome. To be fair, I don't call religious people shitheads or retards. I mean, not just at face value. I mean, like, just because someone is a religious person, I don't call them a shithead, and I never use the word retard. But, I mean, for this guy to be like, oh, atheists just call people shitheads that believe in God, that's not indicative of reality at all. Atheists make these videos for themselves. They like to hear themselves talk, and boy, can they talk! Even if an atheist helps a little old lady across the street, they make 572,633 videos talking about the wonderful thing they did to save mankind. Ugh. Happy Dragon. Happy Dragon, you seem like a Debbie fucking Downer. That's what you seem like. Thomas Terry, thank you for the $2 again. I appreciate that. God bless you! I hope you have a change of heart before you pass, because misleading people and speaking against the spirit worse than sin there is. What? Speaking against the spirit worse sin. Oh, is the worst sin there is. Okay, so true, I do want to point out that in the Christian religion, at least, not believing in the Holy Spirit or speaking against God and whatnot, that is that's the worst sin that you can commit, and there's no coming back from it. You definitely burn in hell at that point, which definitely I deny the Holy Spirit, so I guess I'm burning in hell with Stephen Hawking. But for people to come on here and be like, I hope you change your heart and stop misleading people. Like, I do my best not to mislead people. That's why I have you guys in the chat there to correct me when I get shit wrong. Because I don't want to mislead people. I just want to, tell you guys the truth. How shit is and stuff. All right, here, this will be the last comment that we go over tonight. And then we're going to go into Q&A. So, GE, how else do you explain sex and babies without magic? Silly evolutionists. Everyone knows Sky Daddy is there to magic babies into existence. And then Baron Von Quipley says, Jesus fucking Christ. Has no one heard of a stork? Hashtag I was delivered by a penguin. I mean, damn. No, because it's like, well, how do I explain babies without magic? I don't know. I mean, I can imagine a magic wand coming into play when you're in the bedroom. I mean, that seems like a thing that you would need in there. Oh, Casey's telling me that we definitely don't need a magic wand in the bedroom. Oh, we don't have one. All right, heathen. So I'm going to be taking some Q&A here for just a minute while we finish up on the stream here, and then we'll be going. So if you have any questions you want to give me, please go in the comments right now and leave a question. The live comments, obviously. If you're watching this on the replay, I will try to do my best to answer your questions in the comments. So still leave those. Let's see. No magic wand. Aw, yeah, Miss Snarky. No magic wand. No magic wand. Pink Sheep Bodyguard says, everyone makes mistakes, even flat earthers. Test Vision says, can I go to the toilet, please? Yes, you can. Don't piss your pants. Fedos says, you might not need a magic wand, but it wouldn't hurt to have one. What do you think about the stoned app theory? I don't know about that one. That seems interesting. The magic wand is synonymous with your penis. Yes, thank you, Godless Iowan. Godless Engineer, what's your favorite thing about flatards? I would have to say that it is, on some of them, my favorite thing is creativity. the creativity that they go through in order to tell me that, like, I'm a dumbass or I'm fat. That is what I like. Let's see. Zentrobi also says, how do you not run tired from these same, like, flat earth videos? Well, that's a very, very interesting question there. I feel like me doing them multiple times or explaining the same concept multiple times allows me to understand the concepts better, as well as continue to push against the misinformation that gets spread here on YouTube and in the world in general. I am very much of the opinion that you have to be persistent and consistent when you're fighting idiocy. So regardless of whether or not you have to tell someone they're wrong 50 times or just one time, it's still important that we tell them why they're wrong and let them know what the correct information is. And I do have to say, like, if you're in one single conversation, then, if they're just not listening to you, then there's no point in continuing the conversation. What I'm talking about is across the span of your interactions with people that still believe that bit of misinformation. Oh, see, we had some comments. Godless Engineer, remember now, hashtag Tard Lives Matter. Chris Murr, damn, you always make me do that, man. Let's see. At large 0010, do you think good modders exist on GTA? Possibly. I mean, I don't know. I'm not very much into the GTA mod scene. What's your favorite, most absurd thing an FE has said? Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's see. They're pretty crazy shit. I would have to say the absolutely craziest thing that I've heard has got to be the whole compass thing from a few weeks ago. Like somebody saying that the compasses don't work like they're supposed to be or something like that. Like, I don't know. The whole idea of like basic physics not working is kind of what gets to me, what I like. Not Jawitness. Stoned ape theory. When you leave your bong in your ape enclosure and you have to figure out how to get it back. Oh man, that is a predicament, isn't it? How many flat earthers really actually believe this shite versus just having fun? Well, Clade, I'm glad that you asked that. I think that there may be some out there that are trolls, but at the same time, I also recognize the fact that a lot of them are not trolls and they legit believe this thing. So what I have to do is I have to take them at their word when they tell me that they believe some kind of ridiculous bullshit like space doesn't exist. I don't know. Space not existing might rank up there with my dumbest fucking things that a flat earther has said. Space not existing, I mean, that's just ridiculous. Avantal says, Godless Engineer, have you seen the Gods of Egypt movie? It's basically got a flat earth in it. Gods of Egypt. I want to say that's the Egyptian movie that has like Ra and all this other stuff in it. It's basically talking about, you know, how the Egyptian faiths work or something around that. And yeah, it would make sense that they thought that the earth was flat because all they had was like Egypt and the surrounding areas to really consider. So it makes sense that they would think that. Space is space. There's nothing in it, right? Well, that's not exactly true because there's never absolutely nothing. The scientific nothing that we usually work with is a lot different than absolute nothing. Scientific nothing still has something in it, like a pure vacuum still has an electrical charge. So, I mean, it's never really nothing. Godless Engineer, have you been to the Ark Park yet? I have not, but I am considering going at some point, either this year or next year, I would say. But anyways, I've got to go, guys. It's almost 9:45. So I really appreciate you guys showing up here, watching, liking, everything like that. I hope you heathens have a lovely weekend. I will be debating the question of whether or not Jesus exists on the Non Sequitur show tomorrow. You can watch on there or on the Facebook Godless Engineering page. And so I will see you heathens then. I hope you'll join me and ask the question of whether or not Jesus existed. See you heathens later, and don't forget to stand up and use your voice. Bye, heathens.